What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Autumn and I'm here to teach you how to assume the position. Oh my gosh, that was a tongue twister real quick. But I am teaching you how to assume the position, all right? And you guys, thank you so much to everyone who's been getting sessions with me, email coaching, and also my new service, me helping you to create your imaginal scenes. Thank you to everybody who has been interested. So yeah, I will leave all the information down below if you are interested, but let's get into this video because I know a lot of us spiral. I spiral sometimes on occasion when the resistance is too much there, but I really want to tell you guys how to get out of a spiral and how to get out of a spiral fast and how to become more conscious when you are going through your spirals. And the thing about a spiral is the reason why we spiral is because we are too up and close and personal to the situation, meaning that if your SP said something and then now you're upset about it, or you saw them and you freaked out about it, it's because you made it mean something about you, something bad about you, or something is wrong with you. And we want to dissolve all of those stories around that, because that is the one thing that takes us down the path of adding more stories on top of stories and making something mean more about us when it doesn't mean anything. All situations are neutral until you put a meaning on them, all right? So the first thing I want to tell you guys is we really want to work on becoming the observer. That's the whole practice of getting over our spiral, is to get a bird's eye view of our situation. And how we're going to do that is first dissolving the stories around I am. And I made a video about this. I will link it above, but watch that video, you guys, because it really is about I am by itself being enough. Even if you were to just say I am by itself, that does way more for you than adding on every little thing, because everything that you add to I am in the end is a limitation, and I am by itself is more than enough to be and do all things, okay? What I want to tell you guys is when you are dissolving the stories around I am, you want to dissolve the story about your SP leaving you. You want to dissolve how it makes you feel. You want to back up away from that. You want to back up away from your money situation where you're making you not having money means something is wrong with you. We want to dissolve that. So we want to take our attention away and dissolve all the stories away from I am. No matter what situation it is, no matter your job, career, all the things, your status, all these things, dissolve all of that away from I am for just a moment so you can get a bird's eye view. So you're not your job, you're not your career, you're not, the whatever you think you have, you're not that for this moment. You are dissolving all of those stories so you can see the bigger picture, so you won't be so zoomed in on the thing that you do not like, because what you resist actually persists, okay? So just take a moment to release all of those stories and I like to do this through meditation and dissolve all stories, remove all stories from I am. And that could even just be you sitting in silence and really repeating to yourself inwardly, I am, I am, I am, I am. And you realize that you're bigger than all the situations. And that's the first thing, you guys, is to dissolve any unfavorable stories or any stories at all away from I am. So that way you won't make it mean something about you, because that's what causes the spiral, all right? So after you dissolve all those stories away for a moment, you guys, I want you to really take on noticing things, actually noticing things, getting a bird's eye view, because this is the thing. A lot of us don't even realize that we're always in the unfolding of our manifestation. We've talked about this before, you guys. You are always in the unfolding because it always unfolds through you. So whatever you're seeing on the outside, whatever you're feeling, it is unfolding through you by the story you're giving it, by the meaning that you're giving it. So whatever is going on, I want you guys to start noticing a lot of things, because some of the things that you have been asking for, and when you notice that things are in your reality are dipping down. For an example, I have had a client say that she wants an actual home. She wants to move into a home for her and her children, right? So she wants to move into a home for her and her children, but she's upset because the apartment that she lives in now, they have so many problems going on within the apartment complex. But I had to tell her, you're so focused on the circumstance that you don't like, and you're making it mean something about you, that something is wrong with your manifestation. But if you were to detach from that meaning that you're giving it and become more of that observer and start noticing things, you're noticing that this is actually the unfolding that's bringing you into the alignment for your home. Now, it may not look exactly like you want, but things that are breaking down and leaving or whatever that it is because you are moving to your ideal reality. But it's the focus on what we perceive as negative that we can't even see the full picture, that you're already on your way to your home. So you have to turn away from what is and put your full attention on accepting and welcoming the new, thinking about the new, and not making anything that you perceive as negative mean something about you. And another thing, you guys, I want to tell you is when I used to really struggle with money and an abundance issue in general, when all I could think about was money being linked to abundance, whenever I didn't see money and I started doing this practice of releasing the attachment or releasing what I assumed was something wrong about me in pertaining my financial situation, and I wanted to get a bird's eye view. I remember one time I was going to the gas station to just get some water, and I went to go get some water, and I was just kind of one of those days where I was just in observer mode. I happened to just look up, and then I see all the shelves with all the different kind of drinks and smoothies and beers and alcohols and all these things just in the case. And that did a lot for me because it registered in my mind that it was abundance of choices everywhere. And I wouldn't have had that realization if I was too up and focused on the problem, like thinking like, oh my gosh, like, where's the money? I'm only looking for abundance in money. And just that realization, and I looked around, just that realization dissolved me really focusing in on money, and started to broaden my perspective of abundance in general. And money started coming really quick because I was like, okay, it's not just about the finances, it's about the state of abundance in general. So a lot of us are so focused in on one particular thing that we're not expanding our awareness of being in the state of abundance, being in the state of love, being in the state of wealth, being in the state of health, instead of focusing on one teeny tiny thing. This is why we must dissolve the stories when we are feeling ourselves spiraling, because we're making that mean something about us when it has nothing to do with us. But we have to broaden our awareness to know that this is just one little teeny tiny perspective, but there's many, and I could choose a different perspective once I zoom my attention off of this one. Then once I get that broader perspective, I can choose again. And so this leads me to my last tip for spiraling, which is Neville Goddard has this quote where he says acceptance of the end wills the means. And I really want to talk about that because the way that I read it, the way that I perceive it, is acceptance of the end to me is acceptance of all ends, all different realities, because as we know, all realities live within you. Your personal universe, your personal reality, it all lives within you. But you're giving your focus and attention to one thing when there's many different outcomes. So acceptance of all ends doesn't matter if you deem them good or bad. Doesn't mean that you're just like, oh, I'm choosing this if I accept that something negative could happen to me. But by you resisting the negative is what you're calling in. So to lighten it up, to give it that space to breathe, to give all situations space to exist, because every lifeline has a right to exist, you guys. So when you let it go, let it all go, give every end, every possible end, the right to exist, but still choose what you want. But let everything be there without saying, no, I don't want this to happen. No, I don't like that. No, I don't want this. No, I don't want that. And release the attention of the no and let it be there and put your focus on what you want. and allow that to exist, it literally dissolves, you guys. It literally relaxes you because you're like, okay, I don't have to be so zeroed in and focused on this thing that I don't like, because that's what I'm actually calling in for myself. That reality can be there, and there's a million and one other ways that this can turn out. So acceptance of the end wills the means, yes, but acceptance of all possible outcomes is going to will the means quicker for what you want, by you not having that added resistance to something that you do not like, you guys. This is what I'm trying to get you to see. It's not something that should be hard. It's really just it's like a lightheartedness about manifestation. Your manifestations come through when you're very lighthearted about it, when you're observing, when you're noticing the bigger picture than just being focused in on the things that you do not like, or the things that you think means something negative about you. You have to dissolve all of that and realize that I am is worthy, and it exists just because. But it doesn't have to have a story attached to it. But when you have so many stories attached to your I am, then you always feel like you have to change something about I am, or coax it to do something that you want it to do, when it already is everything, when all possible outcomes are existing right now, when all possible manifestations, your money, everything is existing right now, but you cannot see it because you are attached to something that you don't like. And I'm telling you guys, I know what I'm talking about. When you make it mean something about you, you can't see anything else but that. All right, so it's about freeing yourself, freeing I am from all stories, all unfavorable stories, and giving yourself that space to choose again, but this time allowing all things to exist because they have a right to. Okay, so you guys, I love you guys so much. I know that spiraling we can all go through spirals. It's not about spiraling, you guys. It's about returning to your dominant state, because a lot of people will spiral and then they'll return back to that state where they're focused in on the negative. I want you to return back to your I am state, where it's okay, like I'm fine, like I'm cool, I'm observing, I'm noticing, now I can notice that. Now that I've released that, and now that I've allowed that negative thing to be there, I see all other possible outcomes that can come from that. Not me just focused in on what I don't like, because I'm going to keep getting what I don't like, you guys. That's the whole thing of manifestation. Where your attention goes, the energy flows. So you want to expand and lighten up all that energy and bring it back into you. And once you bring all that energy back into you, all negative states dissolve. All things dissolve back into the quantum field, ready for I am to choose again with a fresh slate. All right, so you guys, I love you again, and I really hope that this video helped you. Get down in the comments below and let me know. Also, you guys, if you want a session with me, email session, all that good stuff, go ahead and get down in the description box below, because I have all the information there. And if you're listening over on my podcast, thank you so much. I know I've been behind uploading the episodes. I need an assistant, but we're gonna get to that at some point. But yeah, you guys, everything is going amazing. I'm happy that the channel is growing, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you like what you hear, and I will see you guys on the next video. Remember, imagination is always on your side, and I am too. Bye.